That better? I'll have to do, I'm afraid. It's so blurry. I'm really sorry about this. Cameraman will be back soon. So anyway, this is this consolidation work. This is test number 3. We're on question 5. Lovely planty question. Just checking that was recording, not just talking to myself. Anyway, not that making these is not talking to yourself. So let's just have a read of the question. All organisms need certain elements for healthy growth. Plants obtain most of their essential elements by uptake of mineral ions from the soil. Vascular bundles contain xylem and vessels that transport water and mineral ions. So they're going from soil to xylem, from roots to all of the parts of the plant. We've got a section through the vascular bundle, and it's a photomicrograph, so it's pictured down a microscope of the vascular bundle. I'm just going to skim before I start annotating, because I can see a sieve plate there and I'm desperate to put my pen to paper. And I suspect, because there are no labels on this, you might have to do something. So state if it's transverse or longitudinal, label a xylem vessel. Right, let's do that first then. So I can see a sieve plate, so that's clearly phloem. That looks like it's full of cytoplasm, so that's probably a companion cell. And we've got that layer of sort of division tissue. These annular rings of lignin, dead giveaway. So label a xylem vessel on the photomicrograph above. Xylem. Did you notice how I use my ruler to do my label line with? I take pride in my work. Okay, so I'll do that first, right, and then I think we're good to go. State if this is transverse or longitudinal. So transverse would be cutting down like that and you'd see that shape, and longitudinal would be cutting across and you'd see that shape. So it's, sorry, the other way around, isn't it? Transverse across, see that, longitudinal down, see that. So I'm seeing long thin rectangles of cells, so that makes it longitudinal. I only need to state that, don't need to put it into a sentence. Explain your answer because the cells appear rectangular. And I might, you could do that and then do, that. And that would just show the examiner you know perfectly well what that is. Label a xylem vessel, ticked on that. And explain why a group form a tissue. So what do we know about tissues? This is probably just a way of asking about it. So a group of xylem vessels is a group of similar cells performing the same function and is therefore a tissue. That is the definition, isn't it? So the movement of water through xylem vessels, so a bit of synoptic there, through xylem vessels partly relies on the polar nature of water. Explain why water is a polar molecule. So this is lovely, again, bit of synoptic. Explain, give reasons. It has an notice I don't use the word it, but I'm clearly just talking about water. Uneven, you could replace it with water, of charge across the molecule oxygen atom is slightly negative, hydrogens likely positive. And onwards. Oh, this is going really quickly. Okay, so with reference to the polar nature of water molecules, we're going to need to talk about hydrogen bonding, I think. That's the real significance, isn't it? Explain, again, give a reason how the loss of water enables water to be transported upwards through Xylem vessels. Hey, guess what? I'm going to write about cohesion tension theory. So this is really straightforward, isn't it? Lovely KA1 question. So, water molecules cohere by hydrogen bonding. This is called cohesion. When water evaporates from leaves, the column of water in the xylem is pulled up, causing tension. And then I've mentioned both of my key terms, haven't I? Cohesion and tension. Causes tension in the column. What else do I need to do? I've got pulling up. Oh, the only one I've not mentioned is adhesion. The column adheres to the inside of the xylem vessel, preventing collapse. I don't think I can say anything else. I've got hydrogen bonding, cohesion, I've got tension, I've got pulling up, I've got evaporation from leaves, and I've got adhesion. Nah. There is nothing more to say. Okay. Oh, lovely table. Oh, concentrations of ions in xylem and phloem. I hate this. Right, let's have a look. So magnesium is higher in the phloem. It is in the xylem, so that's higher. We were told earlier on, weren't we, that the xylem is where the mineral ions are transported. And then we've got nitrate higher in the xylem than it is in the phloem, and then it's higher, phosphate's the other way round. Describe one use made by a plant of the... Oh! And we're off. Oh, I'll just have to... Oh, crikey. I've got it all out of balance. I don't know how to put it back. Ah, there you go. We thought, yeah, we're good. I'll just move that up a bit now. That was nearly a disaster, wasn't it? Don't do that again. Right. Describe one use made by a plant. So magnesium, used to make chlorophyll. Nitrate is the nitrogen is used to make, take your pick, amino acids and nucleic acids, and I'm going to stick an ATP there as well. Sometimes I might want more than one because there's quite a lot that nitrogen's used to make. So, right, onwards and upwards. Explain how the data, this is my favourite kind of question. Explain how the data, so I'm going to use that table, supports the following hypotheses regarding lateral transport. So that's going sideways between the xylem and phloem. So, nitrate is transported from xylem to phloem by diffusion through plasmodesmata. So diffusion is high to low, isn't it? So the hypothesis is supported as Xylem has a higher concentration so nitrate could diffuse down a concentration gradient. To flow through cytoplasmic connections. I'm trying not to overrun on my paper, so I'm going to think how I can word it in plasmodesmata. I have to mention the plasmodesmata somewhere because I've got plasmodesmata there. I have to explain why it's diffusion really and why it's plasmodesmata, what the significance of that is. So phosphate is transported from xylem to phloem by active transport and must cross a cell membrane. Why must it cross a cell membrane? So active transport, so we're going against a concentration gradient, so we're looking at that one now. So phosphate is transported against a concentration gradient. Low to high, just explaining what that means, just in case the examiner is really thick. That's it. So why does it have to go through a membrane? The cell membrane has carrier proteins. Needed for active transport. Can't think what else you could possibly write about that. Nope. Oh yeah, that's okay. We could have used figures, couldn't we? Let's do that. From 0.7 millimoles decimeter cubed to... I'm just worried about this 3 marks. That's clearly 2, isn't it? So you've got your diffusion and then your plasmodesmata, but this one needs 3. The only thing I can think of is that they want a bit of figures in there. Oh, you should put them in anyway somewhere in your answer, just in case it's worth a mark. Okay, Fick's law states that the rate of diffusion is affected by the surface area, concentration gradient, distance. His law can be used to calculate the time taken for a substance to diffuse using the formula below. Time equals the distance squared times 1 over the diffusion coefficient. Use this formula to calculate the distance. Okay, random. We're not taking time between us. Given that, time taken, so we're given some numbers to put into the formula, but first we've got to rearrange it. So that would mean that so if we rearrange it, it would be the time times the diffusion coefficient over 1, which wouldn't make any difference, equals distance squared. So that would be 5 times 10 to the 4 is the distance squared. Sorry about this, I'm not very good at maths. Which equals 25 times 10 to the 4. And then this is squared, so if we're going to get to distance we have to square root it, so we'll need to square root that. So that would be, and I can't work in 10 to the 4, I'm really sorry about this. Really useless at maths. So distance is the square root of 25, and I'm going to just have to put the zeros in. Not least because my trusty calculator although it's got a square root button, doesn't have a times 10 to the whatever button. 25, 1, 2, 3, square root, 158. I'm getting 158.1. I'm just going to do it to 1 decimal point. So, that doesn't look right to me. Distance squared. Have I done something wrong? I've used all these numbers. Square root 25,000. Let me just check that again. 25. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've done 250,000. See? Absolute idiot. Put your numbers in correctly. So 500 micrometers. Okay. Explain. So give a reason why an increase in temperature decreases the time taken to diffuse. Well, we know this, don't we? So increase in temperature increases kinetic energy of molecules. Which move faster. Okay, job's a good one. And it's playtime!